everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lotek Health. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge. I'm your host, Brad Burns, and today is Let's Talk Tickers on Taco Tuesdays. I hope everyone is doing well. I, of course, have grown into my atmosphere. I'm growing leaves. I have really taken to this quarantine. I haven't moved. I've been sleeping something like 16 to 18 hours. I'm really doing my part. And I think we're going to make it. I have a feeling. Something's beeping. It's time. It's over. Whatever it is, know that it's over. Be vulnerable. I've talked about going to sleep and kind of thinking of the worst case scenario, which is not waking up, which sounds terrible. And it, in a way is. But practice that gratitude for these moments that you've had already and know that it could go at any time. It's a miracle that we're alive at all. Know that you're vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Life is about gratitude, appreciating, reaching out, and talking tickers and just talking the truth. What is on your heart right now? Talk to these people. It's a great time to pick up a phone and call somebody you haven't spoken with. And that's good health. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge, anxiety, lack of expression. These are things that cause a lot of stress. And heart problems is one of the big ones. If you got heart problems, you want to stay at home. I know I'm COVID obsessed. It just seems like you can't get away from it. I've seen a comic say coughing is the new N-word. It kind of is. People are farting to cover up coughs these days. And I don't know, is it going to continue to get worse? It's going to through the whole month? Is it going to go through April? My estimates are maybe 4 to 6 months, I'm guessing. I have no idea. It's probably a little more than we're expecting. Yeah, always weird doing episodes. My parents' house, because the light is different. I don't know. It's just, come to the light. Don't avoid your future. It's not the time to take everything too seriously. And be grateful. Totally lost my train of thought. It's weird being out of that controlled environment. My ma's got this heart monitor she's having to wear now because she was having fluttering in her chest for like 6 months and then developed a little tightness. The chest pain. It's scary. It's terrifying. So she's got this monitor to see if she's going in that AFib, EKG, personal EKG. It's pretty neat. She has work. She still works. It's insane. She works and she's in her 70s. I know. She went to work even in the middle of all this stay home, socially distance, because she has a position where she needs people to be overseen. She needs to watch them. She's an overseer of sorts. But today they told her she could stay home. They asked her what her son, the nurse thought, seeing as how the thing is going on in the hospital, the state of the whole country. I know. I'll tell you, I really love having one visitor. That's what's going on in the hospitals right now. You can't bring more than one visitor at a time, and you're getting screened at the entrances for cough and fever, which we should be doing with anyone who looks nasty and is coming in hot. What are you doing? I wonder if they're going to measure the post-op infection rate with this whole security boost. Maybe there's a little bit of correlation between the number of sick visitors and sick patients. Who knows? But she was getting to go home at work, and she told him her battery was going low. So I asked her if she started going, battery's getting low. I gotta leave and come back. I'm gonna get sick.
Shall I say something?
You want to be the first guest? Yeah.
No, I don't look great.
Off camera, we have my mom over here. But she doesn't look great. But she's our first low-tech health guest. Welcome to Let's Talk Tickers on Taco Tuesdays. I talk about you almost every Tuesday, really.
Oh,
and this week's...
I can't blow my cover.
No, don't say who you are, where you came from. It's too late. The cover's blown. I will have guests, visitors soon. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this whole goofy podcast thing. I'm trying to get my tongue loosened and some sort of theme weekly. It seems to have evolved into. As far as letting ourselves translate expert knowledge, it's not much of ourselves except in the royal sense of me and we. But I still think there needs to be a little bit of an exposure to the public on what happens in the hospitals for good reason and for a positive um, result on both sides. Because it's kind of his sides. Because I don't think you really know what's going on in the hospital, and except when your relatives and family members are brought there, and wasn't a whole lot of anatomy and physiology in school, especially if you didn't go in any healthcare setting. You may have gone to, for engineering or maybe in for something completely different. You'll never learn what makes the body move. And I think that's kind of crazy because it's a product we all end up buying, even though we had no intention to. And like I said, you're not in your best mindset when you come to see what it's like in a hospital to pick up all this information about how your organs work. Like the heart pumps one direction, it can go backwards and shoot clots in your brain, heart, and extremities. And that can come from atherosclerosis, which is the hardening of your arteries, not necessarily based off of fat intake, but more along sugar and salt. It's a lot of little nuances. And general public is getting all this information. It takes nurses 2 to 4 years to grasp, doctors 6 to 10 years to master, in 2 to 3 days in time you're not emotionally conducive to any type of learning. So that's where this let's talk tickers and the whole low tech health idea is still basing itself around. She's wearing a heart monitor to make sure her heart doesn't regurge in the wrong direction because it's something we can't see immediately. We can tell if you're turning blue, we can see if you're not breathing well, and beyond that, diet and exercise are the biggest indicators of where your health is going to go besides what your family has. And nutrition is not doctor's strongest suits. But as far as being sick, it's the best place to go, which is why we're still emphasizing the idea of staying home because this isn't a matter of you not getting sick and living. It's not a bit. It's not that. There's no need to panic, and it's bullshit. But you'll overwhelm the hospitals if everyone gets sick at once. And like Italy, they're gonna have to decide who lives and who dies, and we don't want this. Heart to heart, let's talk tickers on Taco Tuesdays. Stay home because you don't want people to have to decide if the person who just had a heart attack is gonna get a room when the hospital's full or almost full already, and half of the country's gonna get this. Please not all at the same time. Stay home. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Another episode of Low Tech Health with Brad Burns. I'll see you tomorrow on Wasabi Walnut. What's hurting my tummy Wednesdays?